I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time this year, and immediately after beating it, I thought to myself, boy, I want to play it again. And so I did. Welcome to my Yuffie only challenge run where we beat Final Fantasy VII with, you guessed it, only Yuffie. Here are the rules. 1. Battles must be completed with only Yuffie. 2. If I don't have access to Yuffie, such as in the beginning during the Midgar section, then Rule 1 does not apply and I can use whoever. 3. No summons. They're just too strong. And I'm also going to try to keep grinding to a minimum and try to defeat every boss without grinding for levels, just to speed things up and keep it a little challenging. I may go out of my way to grab some good items though. You may be wondering why Yuffie. Well, she's not the strongest character in the game for one thing, which makes for a good solo challenge. That doesn't mean she's weak, obviously, but the main reason is because she's my favorite character. I mean, objectively, she's not the best written or most interesting character, but personality and design-wise, she's my favorite of the bunch, so I just wanted to do a solo challenge with her. Anyway, the run starts with, of course, no Yuffie, and we won't be able to get her until we leave Midgar. Believe me, I looked for a way. I tried looking for mods that just filled out your party at the start, and I just couldn't find anything. Maybe there's a way to do it with the glitches, but I didn't really want to bother with glitches too much. Let me know if there's a method to get Yuffie at the start. Either way, we'll just have to go through Midgar normally for now. We complete the first reactor, then the second. We meet Aerith and name her correctly. We turn Cloud into the prettiest girl ever. Reunite with Tifa and make our way back. I end up stealing the strike staff from this guy. I didn't even know about it, and it turned Aerith into a melee monster for a long while. We climb these stairs, fight Reno, and make our escape as the plate falls. I still tear up a little when Barrett has his breakdown. We go through the Shinra building as normal, team up with Red 13, do the awesome elevator fight, beat up Rufus, do the iconic motorcycle scene, defeat Motorball, and finally, we are out of Midgar. But we can't get Yuffie quite yet. First, we head to Calm for the lengthy flashback with Sephiroth, head to the Chocobo farm for the Chocobo lure materia, grab a Chocobo, and cross the marsh. Head through the tunnel, where we can finally acquire Yuffie in the forest. It only took me 4 tries to encounter her, we answer everything correctly, and finally we have our solo challenge character and the run can start for real. The first order of business is to kill everyone who isn't Yuffie in my party. Cloud obviously has to stay in my party, so he won't be getting any levels quite unfortunately. And I also discover I have to have a party of 3, so I decide Aerith will be my second party member. There's one section later where we don't have access to Yuffie for a while, and I'll need the other party members to have some experience, which they get a little bit of even if they're not in the active party. That's why I chose Aerith, since she won't be needing it. Anyway, we enter Junon and I already have to fight a boss with only Yuffie. The good thing about Yuffie is she has a long range weapon, so she can fight at full strength from the back row while also taking less damage, without having to use a materia slot on the long range materia. Luckily, this boss isn't too tough and we can just use Cure whenever Yuffie gets low, and slowly whittle down the boss's health until it dies. We do this weird ass resuscitation minigame and immediately lose Yuffie. Luckily, there are no fights in this section. We failed pretty miserably at the marching part, collect some goodies, and then do quite well at the posing section. Onto the boat. We do some scenes, and then Yuffie doesn't want to go looking for Sephiroth, but too bad for her. And then we kill Cloud and Aerith again, then fight the first encounter with Jenova. This boss was kind of annoying. Sometimes it will cast stop and I didn't have any accessories that prevented stop. I didn't know if I could have gotten one before coming here, probably, but I didn't have one. Jenova's stupid W laser that attacks multiple times ends up killing us before Yuffie has a chance to cast Cure on herself. I kill off Cloud and Aerith, then go save in case I die so I don't have to kill them off again, and fight Jenova once more. I make sure to heal Yuffie anytime her health approaches 50%, that way if I get stopped I'll hopefully be able to pull off a heal before dying to W laser. This attempt goes extremely well, a few regular attacks and limit breaks later and Jenova is defeated. We run around Costa del Sol, grab some things, and head out. We kill Cloud and Aerith again, then head to Mount Corel. I forgot that these guys counterattack any magic with Spiky Hell, which does 200 damage, and I use an AoE on them. I try to escape but end up dying to them, and this is where I learned an invaluable lesson. Always save. Whenever you're doing a challenge run, especially a solo run, always save. Whenever you enter the world map, save. Whenever you're about to exit the world map, save. Whenever you see a save point, save. I get sent back to before the Jenova fight, losing all that time. Jenova even decides to give me another middle finger and kills me one more time. We kill Jenova again, watch the lengthy cutscene upon landing at Costa del Sol again, and make our way to Mount Corel again. This time saving. At some point we unlock Yuffie's second limit break, Clear Tranquil, but it does no damage and we almost never end up using it. This area is pretty rough and we have some close calls, but we make it through. We steal some right arms off of these bombs on this bridge, which is a very handy item that does quite a good bit of damage when used. We enter North Corel and witness Barrett getting bullied, and then we head to the Gold Saucer. Obviously we choose Yuffie to hang out with and meet Cait Sith. I hate him. We get sent to prison and we make sure to grab the laser enemy skill while we're here, a very good enemy skill that does gravity damage, dealing dealing 50% of the enemy's current health as damage. We use our right arm to instantly kill off Dyne and witness a heart-wrenching emotional scene with Barret. This still puts a tear in my eye. We complete the Chocobo race on our second try because the AI is cheating, goddammit, and we get the buggy. Right away, I look for the Chimera enemy to acquire Aqua Lung, another great enemy skill, only to game over to some stupid assholes. So remember 1 minute ago when I said I learned an invaluable lesson, always save? Well, I forgot. And back to Corel Prison we go. This may have actually been a blessing though, because I hadn't realized that running away from the battle where I thought I got laser actually meant that I didn't get laser. And boy, laser sure comes in handy in the future, so I'm glad I got it for real this time. We managed to first try the Chocobo race this time and save. We find the Chimera, acquire Aqua Lung, and collect a couple more enemy skills. First and most important being Big Guard. This puts barrier, imbarrier, and haste on your entire party. It's crazy good, and saved my ass from dying more times than I can count. I actually considered not using the enemy skill materia because it's quite powerful, but honestly it was such a godsend this entire run, I think I would have cried without it. But maybe next time I do a Final Fantasy VII challenge run I'll ban it because I mean, it was really good. We take the buggy to the other continents and go to collect White Wind. But I run into quite the problem. I have to manipulate this enemy in order to make it use White Wind on me, but after it uses White Wind it no longer has an EMP and can't attack itself to break the manipulation, and so I bend the rules for a moment and bring in Barret to hit it once to break the manipulation before killing off the enemy with Yuffie. I kind of regret this because it was totally cheating, but to be honest I don't think I ever used White Wind anyway, so it never really mattered. I then try to go get Beta, only to realize this guy can't blow away my dead party members, and in fact I'm pretty sure he blows away whoever beats him up the hardest, and I felt regretful at how I acquired White Wind, and didn't want to have to do the same thing to get Beta, so I say, oh well. No Beta for me this run, and I ignore it. It would have been quite handy too, so this was quite the sad event for me. Either way, we head back across the continent and fight the Turks just outside of Gongaga. Gongaga is actually optional, and the only reason I came here so I could go into Zack's house with Tifa and Aerith, and then ignore both of them to lose points with him towards the Gold Saucer date. I think it was too late for me to get Yuffie for the date though anyway, because I boosted Aerith early on and bought a flower from her among other things. I hadn't yet looked at the date mechanics, otherwise I wouldn't have bought that damn flower. Either way, we head over to Cosmo Canyon afterwards. I considered getting Frog Song, but decided I probably wouldn't need it. I will regret this very soon. We talk to Bugenhagen, sit around a campfire, and head into the cave. We grab some goodies, and immediately it's time to regret not getting Frog Song. There's a beautiful X potion past this web that I want for the upcoming boss, and this nasty spider enemy is quite powerful. This enemy can also be turned into a frog with Frog Song, making it much less dangerous. Damn it. We poison it, use Big Guard, and hope for the best, but inevitably end up dying. Annoyingly, there's no save point before this room, and we end up having to go through the cave all over again. We reach the spider, adjust our materia bit to add one extra little point of vitality, and fight the spider again. Annoyingly, Cure's potency is reduced while under the effects of Big Guard, so we use high potions to heal instead. Big Guard is also quite costly in MP, so we have to use some ethers as well. We poison the spider and whittle it down while keeping Big Guard up and our health up, and it goes down. Thank goodness. We grab the X potion and have to fight 2 more spiders to make it through the cave. Luckily, the poison, Big Guard, ether, and high potion method was just as effective on these other spiders. We also have unlocked Yuffie's level 2 limit break by now, and it came in handy for dispatching these spiders as well. The boss appears and goes down straight away thanks to it being undead and the X potion we just acquired. We watch a very emotional scene with Red 13 that brings a big tear to my eye every time I see it. And with that, it's time to head to Nibelheim. Things are looking quite strange here, and we acquire some nice goodies from these cloaked guys. I've been dumping all these stat boosters into Yuffie. I don't know how much of an impact they have, but every little bit helps. We enter the mansion and get a handy enemy skill, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, which does damage based on your missing health. Came in handy for the remainder of the run. There's no real reason for me to bother killing the guy in the safe and rescuing Vincent, but I felt sad if he wasn't in my party, and I wanted to feel awesome by soloing this dangerous boss who gave me a bit of trouble when I first played, and then we take it down in one try. By this point, we had unlocked Yuffie's second level 2 limit break Bloodfest, which is really cool and does a good amount of damage. We welcome Vincent into the party and head to Mount Nebel. I nearly shit my pants fighting this dragon before reaching the save point in here, because he was quite dangerous and I didn't save after acquiring Vincent. Luckily, Big Guard saved my ass here and we take down the dangerous enemy and save. We collect some goodies, including a gold armlet off of these dragons. We then fight the Materia Keeper, making sure to collect the Trine enemy skill, which does lightning damage. We also protect ourselves from Trine by putting on lightning plus elemental materia onto our armor. Shout out to the elemental materia, by the way. Poison, limit break, and even using Trine on the boss itself, and it goes down with little issue. Trine is quite handy because it's pretty cheap to use actually, only costing 20 MP and hitting all enemies. You may not have the damage potential of Beta or Aqualung, but I find myself using it more than Aqualung in this run. Anyway, we grab the beautiful counterattack materia and then we leave the cave and head over to Rocket Town, making sure to acquire the Yoshiyuki, which we'll actually be using quite soon. We talk to Sid, watch some scenes, and then fight Palmer for the tiny Bronco. It's so goofy the way he gets run over. Anyway, Sid joins our party and we have the tiny Bronco in our possession. I grabbed Death Force, which I thought maybe would come in handy later, but I used it a total of 0 times. Before heading to Wutai, I take a trip to Bone Village and get the Rune Armlet as well as some Diamond Bangles. The Rune Armlet is one of 2 armors in the game that give double materia growth, and of the 2 is the better one defensively. I used the Rune Armlet for pretty much the entire rest of the game, only taking it off for the final boss and maybe like one other time. It's just nice to have that double growth, you know. We head to Wutai and that damn bitch Yuffie steals our materia and takes off. What the fuck, Yuffie? I'm doing a challenge run here. We go through Wutai as quick as we can and I realize Barret doesn't have Mind Blow yet. I kinda want it for the upcoming boss, and so I farm some limit breaks off of this encounter and he acquires it. I make sure to enter this boss fight with limit break ready to go and immediately get rocked by the boss's physical attacks. Oh boy. I give Barret a long range weapon instead of drill arm and move the underleveled Cloud to the back row and have him and Barret focus on using high potions while Sid does damage in the front row. Mind Blow gets rid of the boss's MP, making it unable to use Arrow 3, which would instantly kill any of my party members with its massive damage. This time around the fight goes much better and the boss goes down. We get Yuffie back and immediately I decide to challenge the pagoda. I rolled through this area sometime on disc 2 during my first playthrough and it was a bit easy. Doing it now is actually quite fun and not as hard as I thought it would be. I only lost once when I got greedy and tried to kill a boss with question marks instead of healing. Bio Big Guard limit break and every boss, even Yuffie's father, goes down with little trouble, which gives us access to Yuffie's final limit break, All Creation. We can't quite use it yet though. First we must acquire her level 3 limit breaks. The first of which, Gauntlet, we unlock after defeating her father. Nice timing. I contemplated whether or not I needed Magic Hammer, but I'm super glad I got it. Honestly, I underutilized it during my first playthrough. This enemy skill is actually goated. You pretty much never run out of MP ever again, and you can even make some bosses unable to do a damn thing to you. Super good enemy skill. We head back to the shore near Nibelheim, get in the buggy, and drive over to North Corral. We enter the Gold Saucer, and I waste my time giving Cloud materia because he was just too low leveled and couldn't make it far into these battles, and he goes down quite quickly. Dio doesn't seem to mind though and gives us the keystone anyway. With the tram out of order, we tuck in for the night and damn it all, we got Aerith. Shouldn't have bought that damn flower. I kissed the dragon because I thought it would be funny, only for the dragon to turn into a beautiful lady. I had no idea that happened. Aerith was shocked as well. We ride the gondola and then witness the betrayal of Kate Sith. Damn him. With that, it's time to enter the Temple of the Ancients. I make a backup save in case it's too difficult because once you enter, you can't leave. I didn't need it, thankfully. We head through the temple collecting mini goodies. I'm quite pleased with Yuffie's power, and she shreds through enemies with the magic shuriken I acquired back in Wutai. I don't know if I'm terrible at the game, but it took me a few tries to even get past one of the rolling boulders. But once I did get past one, it was easy enough to get through the rest. We witness a scary scene with Sephiroth and make our way to the clock room. The only thing I bother grabbing is the ribbon, the best accessory in the game. I was getting sick of status effects by this point, and the ribbon was so nice to finally get. We go to this puzzle room with all the passageways and catch the little bugger immediately. And yes, I cheated and looked up where to go. We fight the red dragon, you know the drill by now. Poison, big guard, attack him until he dies. Keep your health up. The next boss, however, was not so forgiving. He did massive damage. And by this point, High Potion wasn't really cutting it with her health pool of 1400. It didn't help that Cure 2 was also getting gimped by Big Guard as well, making it only heal for 600. We die when he decides to crush Yuffie with rocks as Big Guard runs out. I equip the Dragon Armlet for the better defense, and I keep the ribbon on to make sure I don't get petrified. The second attempt goes much better, and I even throw some of those right arms for good measure. K-Sith sacrifices himself. Well, not really, he's just a puppet controlled by Reeve or whatever. Either way, Cloud gives Sephiroth the black materia and has a mental breakdown. And now it's time to head to the Forgotten Capital. First, we have to go to Bone Village, get the Lunar Harp, and then head through the Sleeping Forest. Some running around later, we witness one of the saddest scenes of all time. Even though I've known for years that Aerith dies, even before playing the game, this scene still brings a tear to the eye, especially when the music hits you. I had rested in the Forgotten Capital before heading here, and I don't think there are any random encounters, so when fighting Jenova I had to execute Cloud and Tifa, who I decided to take now as my third instead of Aerith. I gave Yuffie the Water Ring, and this version of Jenova only uses water attacks, meaning Yuffie is invincible. So I just sit back, hasten myself up, and attack until Jenova dies. Jenova actually ran out of MP before dying, which I found a little funny. I had no idea the saddest animation of all time played here, where Yuffie gives Cloud a big hug and then cries. It brought yet another teardrop to my eye. Disc 1 complete. We head through this cave, grab some goodies, and head through the snow to Icicle Inn. I decided to buy a new weapon for Yuffie. It does slightly less damage, but has much more slots for materia. We grab the map, some goodies, and then dodge Alina's punch, causing her to tumble away. We then grab the snowboard and do the snowboarding section, which I am pretty bad at. We land in this forest, grab the mine source, and head across this puzzle to get the safety bit, which I thought might come in handy later. We then fight these robots and I underestimate their power and they freaking kill my ass. I'd even unlocked Yuffie's second level 3 limit break Doom of the Living and I didn't finish them off. Damn. Well, time to do the snowboarding section again, oh boy. We grab the safety bit again and luckily don't encounter those dangerous fellows. We also get to witness Yuffie's level 4 limit break, all creation at last. And damn, it's pretty freaking cool. Doom of the Living actually does more damage to single target enemies than all creation, so I often swap between level 3 and level 4 depending on the situation. I touch the water and then head over to the snow enemy to steal the circlet from it, but pass out on my way there. No biggie. We head over there right afterwards and steal the circlet from her. It increases your magic and spirit by a whopping 30, and it'll be useful on bosses that can inflict status effects on me, meaning I don't need the ribbon. After that, it's time to traverse the Gaia's Cliffs. There's a second ribbon here, hidden away beyond this wall. I grab it for literally no reason, but hey, if you're planning on playing this game and want a second ribbon, there you go, hot tip for you. This red enemy has a really good enemy skill to learn, Magic Breath. It does fire, ice, and lightning damage, and quite a lot of it too. It is quite expensive though, and be wary of using on enemies that absorb any of those 3 elements, as it will heal them. You can also learn Trine from them if you missed it from the Materia Keeper. Anyway, we continue through here, fighting all these icicles, getting bad breath from the Marlboro, and fighting the next boss. One of the heads absorbs ice, the other fire, so Magic Breath is no good here. However, Trine is quite good and we spam it until the boss dies. When either head dies, it does quite a powerful attack, which Midgar helps mitigate. You can equip the Aurora Armlet as well as a Fire Ring to mitigate their fire and ice attacks, which they do quite often. The Aurora Armlet will cause the Ice Breath to heal you as well, which helps to get rid of any damage taken during their Earth attack. Either way, the boss goes down with relative ease, and I get confused for a second. Is it just me, or does this wall look not climbable at all? It didn't help that I had to stand at a specific spot to start climbing it. I think I got confused here my first time playing as well. Damn this wall. We can actually find a big fella in the crate and steal a Gygas armlet from him, which increases strength by 30. We head through here, skillfully avoiding the windy gusts, and after some scenes fight Jenova once again. With the fire armlet equipped, Jenova cannot do any damage to us, and we once again just beat it to death. I came into the fight with Yuffie's limit break ready, just to speed up the fight a bit, then afterwards just beat Jenova to death. We witness the truth and see that it was not in fact Cloud, but Zack who was there. My god. Yuffie has the incredible unique dialogue of Cloud ... After some more story scenes that remind me of how incredible this game must have been to play at the time of its release, we wake up as Tifa. Once again, we are without Yuffie for a moment, but it won't last long. We beat up some fools as Barret and Kate Sith, then immediately locate Yuffie, beat up some fools as Yuffie, and make it to the Highwind. We escape our bindings as Tifa, and then witness Sapphire Weapon getting fucking destroyed and murdered. Poor thing. Time for a slapping contest. Fuck you, Scarlet Bitch. And with that, we escape Junon, and now the Highwind is ours. I run around, grabbing some goodies, including the very good Tetra Elemental accessory, which drains fire, ice, lightning, and earth attacks. I never equipped this item, but I was happy to see Cactar. Actually, it's not a Cactar, it's a Cactuar. Oh well, he was still cool. Cactar is such a funny little fellow. We head to Midgar after grabbing some Mimic Greens, see Cloud in quite the sorry state, watch a bunch of cutscenes, run back into Midgar, feed the Chocobo, tickle behind his ears, and the contained materia is ours. It has extremely powerful magic within that I don't really get much use out of actually, but they look damn cool. After that, it's time to collect huge materia. First stop, the Coral Reactor. We go on a crazy train chase. Laser and Magic Breath comes in quite handy during these fights. Then we stop the train successfully, securing the first huge materia. Over to Fort Condor, we don't place any troops down and then twiddle our thumbs waiting for the enemy to reach us, then defeat it with ease, securing not only Phoenix, which we can't use, but the next huge materia. Sid wants to visit Cloud, so we head over to Midgar, only to find it being attacked by Ultimate Weapon, who does massive damage to Yuffie. One big guard, X Potion, and Limit Break later, Ultimate Weapon scurries off like the punk he is. We witness a cutscene that for some reason makes me laugh every time, and then we see the real truth of Nibelheim, as well as many important moments in Cloud's life. Cloud was there, and he kicks Sephiroth's ass. Cloud finds his true self at last, and we get him back in the party. I'm not going to be using him though, and as usual, kill him the first chance I get. Now, time for the underwater reactor. This reactor is pretty cool and we fight the next boss, Carry Armor. It's not too difficult, but there's one major issue. The arm grab attack. There's no way to counter this attack, you basically just need to pray it doesn't use it, because if it does, you instantly lose on a solo run. I decided to switch to all creation since this boss has 3 things to hit, change up my materia a bit for more magic power, and fight it again. Unfortunately, it uses Lapis Laser, which is insanely powerful and kills Yuffie very quickly. I make sure my limit break is fully ready to go. Then I run back and save so that I don't have to fight a bunch of guards again if I die. And also so I have limit break ready for the start in case I die. The 3rd attempt ends nearly instantly as it uses arm grab straight away. Cool. The 4th attempt ends in disaster as well due to Lapis Laser. Cool. The 5th attempt arrives and we manage to get Big Guard and all creation off before then losing the arm grab. Cool. The 6th attempt finally goes our way. No stupid Lapis Laser, no stupid arm grab out of the gate. We Big Guard, all creation, then spam Magic Breath. Magic Breath does like twice as much damage as Limit Break, and I tell myself if I die again to not bother with all creation, but we don't die, instead Carry Armor dies. Thank God. We collect some goodies including the very important Leviathan scales and enter the submarine. One awesome and really easy minigame later, we now have access to the submarine. But first we head into Junon to witness a mandatory cutscene and now we can collect some goodies. First stop, Wutai. With the power of the Leviathan scales we get Yuffie's 2nd strongest weapon behind her ultimate, Oritsuru. The reason we'll be using this over her ultimate weapon, which we'll go grab in a moment, is because this weapon has materia growths whereas her ultimate does not. Thinking back on it, there isn't too much game left, so I probably could have just used her ultimate weapon for the rest of the game, because it is really powerful. Oh well. Either way, we enter the sunken plane, grab the beautiful, extremely beautiful double cut materia, and Yuffie's ultimate weapon, Conformer, only dying once to a BS back attack. We beat up the Turks again, recover the huge materia from the sunken sub, head over to Rocket Town, beat up Rude once again, and acquire the final huge materia, while witnessing some heartfelt Sid moments. Back in Cosmo Canyon, we watch some story scenes, get Bahamut Zero, which we can't use, and head to the Forgotten Capital. I also grabbed the key earlier, so don't worry about that. We watch some scenes, learn about Holy, Bugenhagen uses the key, and big alert! Diamond Weapon is approaching Midgar. I spam trying on him while keeping Big Guard up, and he goes down eventually. I was waiting for him to do the countdown because he can't get hit by physical attacks until he does the countdown, but he never did. So I never got to use my limit break on him. Sad. Either way, Diamond Weapon gets fucking blasted tragically and then it's time to parachute into Midgar. We go through this underground area and discover why Behemoth is so dangerous. I then ran from Behemoth each time I saw him after this. We fight the Turks, stealing all their items from them, using Big Guard and regen to survive, then poison them, use some AoEs, and they're defeated once and for all. Time to fight Heidegger and Scarlet's mech, the Proud Claude. You can ignore the armor, but if you defeat it, you'll get more XP and AP, so I destroy it. Unfortunately, it seems Yuffie isn't the only one with double cut materia, and this asshole shoots Yuffie twice after my Big Guard dissipated, killing me. Well, time to fight the Turks again. I decide I only really want the Zydric, which has a lot of defense and even gives 20 strength and vitality, so that's all I steal before killing them again. I definitely didn't die to them here. I decide to save at this save point after beating them. I could have sworn there was another save point somewhere in these tunnels, but I never bothered looking around. I accidentally cast regen on myself after Proud Claude put Reflect on me, and annoyed, I decide Alt F4 and try again. I probably didn't really need to. I make sure to use an X potion whenever my health gets too low, and finally stupid Proud Claude goes down. Now it's time for Hojo. Before I started this run, this was the one fight that came to mind where I thought, boy, I bet that fight would be tough. And well, it wasn't. This fight was rather straightforward actually. Big Guard, regen, magic breath, limit break, and each phase of Hojo goes down with ease. The final phase of Hojo has a multi-hit attack where Yuffie has a chance to counterattack with the counterattack materia after each hit. And with little trouble, Hojo goes down. Some more story scenes later and Disc 2 is over. All that's left now is the Northern Cave. I breeze my way through here only to die to this stupid robot thing and a stupid instant death attack. Back into the cave I go. I decide to run from that enemy every time I see it. I could use the safety bit, but there are also enemies that deal status effects, so I'd rather just be able to kill them for my last bit of AP and XP before Sephiroth. The party splits up and we head through the cave to the end. I do some calculations and realize I can get 4x cut after only 16 battles against the mover enemy here. So I backtrack to where they're at, only to get destroyed multiple times by the ambush encounter with the floating eyes. And in a rage I say fuck it and take on Sephiroth with double cut. I equip Zydric and Conformer and run from all the scary enemies and take on the final Genova. Since Conformer scales with the enemy's level, it does a massive 7,000 damage to Genova. One limit break and some double cuts later and Genova is toast. Time for Bizarro Sephiroth. We destroy his arms, exposing his healing core, destroy it, and then destroy his body. One close call with the attack that reduces Yuffie's HP to 1 later, and we defeat Bizarro Sephiroth. The ever-iconic one-winged angel plays, and it's time to take on safer Sephiroth. Even through his barrier, Conformer does a massive 5,000 damage per hit. Plus the occasional counterattack, and Sephiroth is looking like he's cooked. We sit through the long-ass supernova animation heal up, and I wanted to place Big Guard on myself, but Sephiroth wanted to die, so he attacked me while his barrier was gone, and Yuffie counterattacked for 9,999 damage, killing him. One awesome cutscene in Omni Slash later, and we've done it. We've beaten Final Fantasy VII with only Yuffie. Had a solo Emerald and Ruby weapon, right? No thank you. This run already took me quite some time. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this challenge run. This is an amazing game, and I have no doubt that if I had been alive when it came out and around high school age, this would be my favorite game of all time and would probably have molded my personality. This channel will be called Cloudster Games instead of Linkster Games or something. Damn, this game is good. Either way, thanks for watching. More challenge runs from all sorts of games in the future. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.